Hey everybody, on this trip I'm headed to the Snowbank Trail and the Boundary Waters Canoe. There's a forest fire. The trail's closed. Okay. Hey everybody, I'm going to the Pow Wow Trail and the Boundary Waters. What? Wait, now what? That trail isn't maintained and there's a bunch of tree falls. Oh, okay. Hey everybody, I am going back out on the Superior Hiking Trail. Hey everybody, I'm en route to another hiking trip. I was planning to go in the Boundary Waters Canoe Area to the Snowbank Trail. And a couple days ago there was a forest fire that broke out called the Delta Fire, which was real close to there. I called up to the forestry office yesterday and the trails were still open. I knew it was close by. I am like 10 miles away from Ely, and I just got a call from the forestry office that parts of the trail, the Snowbank Trail, are now closed after driving 3.5 hours up here. So, real nice gal at the forestry office. She said to pull in there. She'll help me figure out a different trip that I can go on, opposed to the one that I had been planning. So, things are off to an interesting start. Okay, I just got out of the ranger station. That fire has grown to 60 acres. There's all sorts of trails closed. I pulled a permit for the Pow Wow Trail, which is about an hour away from here. I don't have any maps. I don't have a Gaia track. So I'm trying to figure that out right now before I head that way. I'm gonna head into Ely, get a map. Hopefully I can get something on Gaia. We'll see. Well, I made it out to Boundary Waters Canoe Area, entry point 86 for the Pow Wow Trail. Woo! So I'm going into this one not very prepared, which kind of makes it exciting to tell you the truth. I know it's about 31 miles. I bought a couple of the Mackenzie maps in Ely. Drove about an hour here to this trailhead. I didn't have very good internet service in Ely, so I text my friend Miyagi, who I know is proficient in Gaia. He was able to find me it on Gaia. I have it on my phone now. I should be set to go. Now Gaia doesn't have very good where the campsites are. The Mackenzie maps do. I need to make a decision once I get up here. It's kind of a lollipop where I get to the loop and I'm going to have to decide if I'm going left or right. We'll see what happens. I know I forgot something already. I'm going to keep you in suspense to what that is, but it's not vital, but it could cause a significant issue if I don't. If something arises, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. Here we go. I have my first casualty of the trail. Walking along this little branch right over my head. Near fatal injury. It caught the bag of Doritos. The crime scene. It's all right. I only got 2 nights out here in this whole bag, so throw it into a gallon Ziploc, keep on going. Some little animal's gonna have a bunch of salt, is what it is. Still on that entry that gets into the loop. Pretty flat, pretty dry, pretty hot. Now, if I was a little less experienced in camping, I'd be concerned about where am I going to hang my hammock, because, you know, it kind of just looks like this and real flat, almost desert-like here. I passed a lake coming in, but if you look at the map, I'm going to be going around all sorts of lakes, and that's where the campsites are, and there are more trees by the lakes, I hope. So, no worries. 31 miles. You know, that isn't a whole lot of miles for me. If you look on the Forest Service website, it talks about how poorly maintained this trail is, so I haven't noticed that so far. So even though it's only 31 miles, there might be some challenging miles in there. But I don't know. I can deal with walking on a uninteresting trail as long as I get a really nice campsite on a lake. It'll make it all worth it. So not a whole lot to shoot video on here. When I get to something good, you'll see it. But you don't have to live through all this boring woods like I'm walking through right now. I've come to the loop of the Pow Wow Trail, and there is a sign at the intersection here that I think is kind of funny. Pow Wow Trail, straight ahead. Now maintained that way. So for a while I'm thinking, boy, is the Pow Wow Trail that way not maintained? But if you think about this little addition to the sign here, now maintained, this W was added. So I'm like, well, what did it used to say? If you think about it, it probably used to say not maintained. They maintained it through the W on there. So I'm hoping the whole trail is maintained. I just walked through some stuff that wasn't real maintained. Kind of a swampy area. Weeds up to my waist. Probably should be wearing pants because it's prime tick area, but it's dang hot out here, so I'm not. So I tried to decide, do I go counterclockwise or clockwise? I decided to go clockwise because I'm looking at where the campsites are. I got out my Mackenzie maps. This trail is split into 2 separate maps, so I had to buy both of them. And basically just by where the campsites were. Now on the map they indicate which ones are backpacking campsites and which ones are canoeing campsites. The danger is with the canoeing campsites, they're on a lake, which is nice. Canoers often will base camp out of a campsite and stay there for up to a week. And as I found out last year when I was hiking up here, you can see a link to that video right up in the cards. People don't like to share campsites up here. They come up here to camp alone, so don't bug people when they're in campsites. But anyway, so those campsites that are canoe campsites are more likely to be used already. So there's a higher probability that the campsite that I want isn't going to be available, and I'll have to keep on walking. But I decided to go this way because I'd like to be somewhat close on that last day, so I don't have to hike a long ways out. So I just decided to go this way. Is it the right way? Who knows? I see. Getting my feet wet for the first time. There's just a beaver out here. he heard me coming, went under the water. But it's pretty beautiful out here. One thing you should be prepared for when you come out here is walking on beaver dams, which I'm doing right now. The footing can be a little tricky. But it's fine as long as you're watching where you're stepping and not looking at a camera. So backpacking isn't all sunsets and campfires. The trail I've been walking through isn't the most well maintained in the world here. So it's a little bit slower going. The problem is when you have weeds up to your waist, you kind of got to watch your footing because it's not a real level surface. So trying to be careful by myself. Don't want to roll an ankle. I'm not gonna lie, this is starting to suck quite a bit. All sorts of tree falls, overgrown. Ah. What have I gotten myself into? Shit. All right, keep on going. I think I've hiked about 4 or 5 miles in. Some really crappy trail, lots of trees down, overgrown. And I think I remember hearing that this is like an old burn area. I see lots of trees that are standing that are burned, but there's really no forest here at all. Just new growth. I'm starting to get a little concerned about if I'm gonna have a tree to hang a hammock on. I made it to the first campsite here on my map, and it's not much of a campsite. Here's my maps. There's a fire ring. That's about it. Trail's right there. So I've been thinking hard. Do I just abandon this hike? You know, I think I could drive to the Spear Hiking Trail, which is probably an hour, a little over an hour away from here, and camp and hike on there a little bit. But I hate quitting. I hate quitting. So I'm looking at my map here. Let me give you a look. So this is where I started, and the trail goes around here, right? And I have hiked from here up to the intersection over to the first campsite. There's another campsite that's about 2 miles up this way. And I'm hoping, you know, there's more campsites on lakes up here. So my plan, I'm gonna hike up another 2 miles in this trail that's not very nice. And if I don't start walking in bigger trees, I'm gonna turn around and go back. It's about 3 o'clock right now. So 3 miles, that might take me, with all the stuff that's down, it's gonna take me probably an hour and a half, 2 hours to get to there. 5 o'clock, probably take me 3-4 hours to get back out. So I could get out by dark. I know where to go on the Spear Hiking Trail, close to a trailhead where I could go set up in the dark. So I'm not giving up on this trail yet. I have hope Gonna give it another few miles. If it doesn't get better, I'm gonna retreat. You know what? The Pow Wow Trail. Besides this just sucking, it's dangerous. Climbing over all this crap. I'm out of here. Whew. Taking a little break, but this is the sort of stuff that you see a lot of around here. And, you know, I can put in through the magic of editing what was caused by this, but since I didn't research this trail much, I'm not 100% sure. Can't remember if there was a fire or a windstorm. I'm thinking it was a fire, and I think actually there were some people hiking up here like after that fire that got lost or died or something, you know, when they couldn't tell where the trail was. I can tell where the trail is now, but it's not maintained real well and not a whole lot of fun. So, ow, and there's flies. All right, haven't made it back to where the loop ends. Should be there shortly. Plugging along, made it back out to where the loop starts here and back to our sign. Now maintained. Wish I had a little screwdriver. I could take that W off so it said not maintained. Whew. You know, I don't want to offend people who maintain the trails. One of my very first backpacking trips was with the Boundary Waters Area Advisory Committee. And those people just love to maintain the trails. So I don't know who maintains this trail, but it doesn't look like they've been out here this season. But, you know, I would still hike this trail, even with like the weeds and stuff that I'm walking through now. But what really made me turn around is when I'm climbing over those tree falls that are more than just going underneath a little tree or stepping over a little tree where you're actually climbing. I'm just thinking, man, I'm a 50-year-old man. I could hurt myself out here. This is kind of stupid. So, retreating, even though I don't like to retreat. Whoa, branch there. Again, I don't want to offend people by saying this is a crappy trail or something. It's just not maintained very well right now. So, if I had more people with me, or if I saw some bigger trees, like if I was walking in more of a forest where I knew I'd have someplace to hang my hammock, just those two factors, I'm like, I should probably turn around. So, anywho, it's, I don't know what time it is. It's probably about 5 o'clock. I'm gonna get back to my car, drive down towards the spear hiking trail. Not exactly sure where on that trail I'm gonna go yet. I'll figure that out when I get to my car. I made it down to this spear hiking trail. As much as I wanted to hike someplace I've never been before, I am in a place where I've been actually a lot. Spear hiking trail. I am at the Oberg Mountain trailhead. And the reason why I picked this trailhead is there's a campsite in here, the Onion River campsite. It's probably only about a mile in. Great big campsite, so there should be room for me. I probably have about an hour till it gets dark, so I have plenty of time to set up my hammock and get comfortable for the night. I don't really have a game plan as far as what I'm going to do the rest of the weekend. Figured I'd get in here. I think I'll have cell phone service. I don't have any of my maps for the Superior Hiking Trail. Just kind of going off of memory here. I know Lutzen is up that way. Britton Peak is down to the south. I don't know. Just trying to figure out something new. I've been on this trail so much. Something to spark my interest. So, the one thing that I forgot to bring, that I noted earlier, I forgot to bring my bear line. And my bear, a little bag for throwing it up over a branch. I stopped into Tofty at the gas station, bought this 50-foot long, it's like a little rope, definitely not ultra light, and got a couple extra little bags from the convenience store there, so hopefully I can rig something up to throw a bear line here. So anyway, oh man, this trail, there's nothing touching me. I don't have to step over anything. I feel like I'm on a freeway here. I like it. I made it to the Onion River Group campsite. Let me show you what's happening. It's probably about 8:45. It's getting dark. There were a couple other campers up here I was talking to for a while, and real nice ladies. They hit the hay, retiring for the night. Here's my hammock. Again, the Ridge Runner from War Bonnet with a 13-foot rainfly over the top. And right here, there's a nice picnic table. So I sit up right next to it. And right now I'm waiting for my dinner to rehydrate. Peak Refuel chicken Alfredo pasta. I think this is my favorite Peak Fuel of all of them. So I had 2 of them packed. I'm having this tonight. I have the beef pasta marinara for tomorrow night because that's a little bit bigger portion, and I'm not really that hungry tonight. So you can see on the picnic table, I also have my Doritos, some cookies that I picked up at the gas station in Ely, and I have a melted Snickers bar there. So, and this is my rucksack. So I went and hung my bear line, so when I'm done eating, I can go hang my food over there. So, who needs that fancy Dyneema bag and little line? I got my rope. I got my convenience store bag with rocks in it. Got it over on the first try. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's a long ways away and it's 8 feet off the ground. So we'll call it good. But yeah, I'm going to eat some dinner. Mosquitoes, as you can imagine, are out. Throw on some DEET, and of course my clothes are treated with permethrin. But mosquitoes still like flying around. So I'm going to eat, and then I'm going to get in the hammock and try to figure out what I'm going to do tomorrow. Morning. Well, it's kind of morning. Woke up about 5 o'clock. I was cold. Got up, put on my rain pants, threw on some socks. Went back to sleep here. Rolling around in my hammock for a while. It's 9:30 now. I'm lacking motivation today. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do. Don't really feel like hiking. I don't know. I'll get up, grab some food, kind of try to figure out what I'm going to do today. Trail, man, shit. All right, so I don't get real good cell coverage here. I don't have the pocket maps, so I wasn't able to plan last night. And I think my new plan was to not have a plan. But there was a guy camping in the campsite that had the pocket maps that I borrowed this morning. Took a look at them. And my plan right now is I'm going to drive up to a campsite here that is one of my favorite campsites on Spear Hiking Trail. There's trailhead probably a mile and a half away from it. And I'm just going to chill on a nice campsite right on a lake. Hopefully there's room there. And just chill out. Just a little bit different camping trip. This, like I said, this is probably a camping trip and not a hiking trip. So, walking back to my car, gonna make that little drive, set back up and relax. Just walked by a couple going the opposite direction with a couple gas-powered weed whippers and, you know, dressed in official clothing. And I thank them for their service because after a day like yesterday, you definitely appreciate people more who are maintaining trails. Lake Agnes is where I'm headed. It looks like it's about a mile from here. I've never come into Lake Agnes from this spur trail, so something new. But looks like I have a little bit of hill here to climb, but I'm hoping that there's room in this campsite. I know it will be a busy one, but if I can get set up there, relax, should be able to do a little bit of swimming today when it's going to get hot. So it's about 11:30 right now. Let's get to hiking. I made it to the Lake Agnes campsite. I set up my hammock over here. Beautiful spot. The issue with Lake Agnes is there aren't a whole lot of places to fit my bridge hammock with that wider span. There are a couple tents. Feel a little uncomfortable, but I'm really close to this one. There's another tent over here, and that's right next to the other good tent or hammock spot. So I set up. There's nobody in those tents. I was talking to some people down here for quite a bit who I noticed had some sacks from Hilltop Packs, and I was showing them the Ridge Runner bridge hammock. They have gathered in hammocks, so they're curious about that. But yeah, so this is Lake Agnes. This is where I am going to be hanging out all day and relaxing. I was on the car ride here to Lake Agnes, and I thought about hiking some bigger miles, but it's kind of warm out. And on the radio, I had to listen to the deep, thoughtful words of In Excess. They said, relax, don't do it. If you want to get to it, relax. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to relax. I'm going to try to relax. We'll see if I do that. Good morning from Lake Agnes. It was a beautiful night last night. I'm sorry I didn't do a whole lot of recording, but there were probably 15 or 20 people in camp last night, which I expected at this campsite. And I just sat around the campfire without the camera, just talking to people. It's a good time. A few thru hikers, a few newbies, just talking about trail experience, all sorts of things. But a lot of people were still sleeping this morning, so I didn't want to talk at camp. Camp is right over there on the other side of the lake. I really enjoyed swimming in the lake last night, and yeah, it was just a good time. So I have about a mile to hike out today on the spur trail. Yeah, so I'll get to my car, head home, get this video all edited up for you, and relax. Whew, I can see my car. Hey, do me a favor if you like this video. Hit subscribe, hit that bell notification. They'll tell you when I put out new videos. Check me out on Instagram, check me out on Facebook. I put all sorts of pictures and other nonsense in there that isn't in these videos. But yeah, thanks for coming along. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. Oh yeah, I have merch available in Teespring. So if you want to buy a Midwest Backpacker sweatshirt or t-shirt or a mug or a sticker, go down and there's a link there. I make a little bit of money off of each of those sales, but it all goes back into making these videos. So thanks for coming along. Whew, scared me. I'm like, where's my car? It's not in there. My car's parked down here. Thanks for coming along. Maybe sometime I'll see you out on the trail.